Hey, chat. I've been told by many that Pioneer in its current state is a very reasonable format. We're going to play some games today and see if we agree with that assessment. So, this deck and this format are really in this kind of interesting spot because this deck has cards in it that are legal that don't exist in historic, but there's cards in historic that don't exist in Pioneer. So the big one that stands out in my mind is there's no Lightning Helix in this format. That being said, this deck gains some other powerful upgrades that we don't have access to in historic. Sylvan Caryatid is a big one that jumps out at me. 0-3 Defender Hexproof, makes a mana of any color. Really good fixing, blocks a little bit in the early game. And Omnath is legal in this format. Honestly, Omnath should be legal in historic too, but that's a rant for a different day. We've got Slaughter Games. I think that's it. I think it's Caryatid, Omnath, Slaughter Games are the big one. And then obviously Bring to Light the Namesake is not currently legal in historic, but is legal in Pioneer. So this card's a really sweet card. I really hope we get this one in Arena sometime soon. It allows us to only play 3 copies of Niv while having access to a virtual 7 of them. We would get to play 2 copies of Omnath while having access to a virtual 6 of them, etc. So just lets us tutor up different answers in different spots, lets you play utility like Tolsimir, Cleansing Nova, Extinction. This is why you see things like this one of Slaughter Games. So all of these singletons are here are because they're powerful cards for 4 and 5 mana that lets you bring to light to find extra access to them in game 1. So let's jump on into some games here. I have not played Pioneer in a very long time. I had seen some good things floating around by it. Someone asked if they could make a deck donation, so we had a donation for this. This is supposed to be a very competitive deck in the format, so I'm interested to see how it plays out for us here today. Yes, yeah. There's a Valki God of Lies down here, so you can bring to light for Valki and then cast Tibalt. Because the way they fixed it for Cascade doesn't apply to how Bring to Light works with that. So you can grab a Valki as well as a singleton. That's a good catch. It did not mention that one. Morning, Magnus. Well, I think we keep this. Our mana's a Go word, but hand seems good. Probably Luris Burn, I imagine. Okay, nice. So I just played this tapped on 1. That will be the option to Abrupt Decay on 2 here. I think we're just decaying Eidolon here. I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. Rose Charm's legal in this format, I believe. What's going on, Pienza? Thanks for 31 months. Remember when this format was really exciting and we had a lot of optimism in us about it? And then Wizards happened? I genuinely hope that this format is good and they get this format on Arena sometime soon. More ways to play Magic is good. Is only a good thing. Key to Lava Runner. Sylvan Caryatid looking excellent here. Going to get to block the Lava Runner. Zagoth Triome is a spell, right? This is blue, white. We'll let this be green. I have red here as well, so we can cast this already. Arsenani, thank you for the 20 months. Welcome back. Good morning. Yeah, I agree, Panza. Not even just lower power level, but a little bit more stable would be nice. Like, it seems like they're gearing up for Historic to be changing quite frequently with their addition of digital designs, so. They just drew Lurrus for the turn. That seems really good for us. That's an excellent draw. So let's just go ahead and play Glacial Fortress tapped. Oh, I could have. I'm dumb. I was not thinking about this making mana. I could have cast Niv this turn. You dislike how Historic is evolving. Well, that's a pretty peak human slash defeatist slash stance. We don't even know how Historic is evolving. We don't know what the gameplay patterns are going to look like. How can you say you like or don't like something that we don't know anything about? I think I'm taking 3 here. I don't want to Mortify and then have them play Lurrus and then recast something this turn. So blue, white, black, green, red. K command sounds great. Vanishing Verse sounds great. Casual draw force. Yeah, it's fine to dislike the current Historic format that's very control focused. I would agree with you, in fact, that I would prefer a Historic format that's less control centric. In the short term, I think an extended style format is probably DOA because Eldraine, I think, is an accurate assessment. Okay, so they don't have good attacks here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be 7 mana. So I can play this. I can Nahiri, exile. I think we Nahiri, exile the Eidolon. It's an enchantment. You are correct in your assessment that Historic is no longer accomplishing what they originally said it was going to set out to do, which is provide a home for old standard cards. You are correct that that is originally what they pitched Historic to be, and it's no longer doing that. I also, and this is, a reality you're going to have to accept playing Magic the Gathering, though, is to let you in on a dirty little secret, a significant number of your standard legal cards also aren't going to be playable in Pioneer, even though it's a lower power level format. Playing standard Magic is the most expensive way to play Magic the Gathering because your cards rotate and they stop working. They stop being legal and competitive. You got me. You've killed my Niv. Magic's non-rotating formats are more expensive up front, but they are always cheaper in the long term. Let's cast another Nahiri here, exile the Eidolon again. And then I think we just Vanishing Verse this turn. And I'm at 12, and I'm going to have a Klothys next turn, so it should be pretty locked up at this point. I think I want to get Klothys going here rather than Niv-Mizzet this turn. I could do both. I guess I'm at 12. Yeah, I can afford to take a damage here, right? That was pretty convincing. We were on the draw and still won there relatively handily. Night of Autumn and Voice of Resurgence both sound lovely here. Fatal Push sounds lovely. Extinction Event, Slaughter Games, Cleansing Nova, all out. Valki out. What do I want to get rid of? I need 2 cuts here. Nahiri was okay that game, but she might be the trim, actually. I guess she's kind of nice at filtering through extra mana in the late game. Cut this Mana Confluence. I don't think I ever want to keep a hand with it in this matchup. Like 26 lands, plenty of lands. I cut a bunch of 4 mana spells. Yeah, we could just trim one of her. I don't hate that. I mean, we have miscellaneous Moto challenge event. We have the same type of Pioneer events as we do for Modern at the moment. We have miscellaneous Magic online events. I could mulligan a hand with no 2 mana play. Yeah, it's actually pretty good, right? This, cast Dreadbore, this into this, cast Vanishing Verse, this into this, does not cast Abrupt Decay, so I'll Decay. So I can do this, and then this untap, do this, and then this tap, do this the following turn. Jackie, thanks for the 2 years. Welcome back. Roiling Vortex. Okay. Deal with that with Night of Autumn potentially. We also might want to just use this to gain 4 life, so we'll see. We're gonna start with the Dreadbore on this Storko, I think. I want to do this proactively because I'm pretty sure there are Wizard's Lightning deck. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just Night of Autumn, kill the Roiling Vortex. And this will either eat a removal spell or trade with Lava Runner. And then we have the lands in our hand to cast this Niv-Mizzet. That's nice. Okay, currently taking 3. They have another burn spell. We're taking like +2 from it. So it'll be 5, like 6, 7, 8 potentially this turn. Another instant or sorcery is great for us here. They have a light up the stage. Yeah, it's pretty good. Boros Charm. They have a third land from hand. Yikes, probably dead here. I guess that lets us cast Niv-Mizzet next turn, but it's gonna be pretty slow. So you get to exile one of these, and we're taking a minimum of 8 on board. I have 2 cards in hand. No Caryatid this game being a big difference between this game and the last one. Opponent's draw is also a little bit more aggressive here. Had more threats, which made our spot removal worse. I exile the non-prowess one just in case they're out of spells in hand. Narrator, they were not out of spells. Even if we exiled the prowess one, we were still dead there. Alright, on the play. Anything to change. Just get to be on the play this time. Deck has so many triomes in it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 triomes in 26 lands. So many. Yeah, Despark's gonna stay firmly on the sideboard. I think this is fine. We go Indatha Triome tapped into Triome tapped, play Fatal Push. And then we could do this on 3 into this on 4, make a land drop, plus play a 2-mana spell, hopefully. It's gonna kill that right away again because of Wizard's Lightning. I wanted them to be able to like lightning me in response and then also light up the stage. Okay. Not gaining a life here with the knight, but it's fine. Get to kill this vortex, which is nice. Cinderace is so good. The range on it is truly absurd. Well, I've never cast this card on Moto, so let's see what the interface is like. Put 1 into my hand. This one. Put 1 on the bottom of your library. This one. Put 1 into exile. This one. Then we get to do this. And then we get to do this. I'm going to leave this at home just in case they have a haste creature. They just drew Luris for the turn. Okay, so this Omnath is then like GG basically, right? Maybe I'm supposed to get Niv-Mizzet this turn too. I don't know. I kind of want to gain 4 more with this. Crack my fetch land. Undo your Boros Charm. Assassin! Thanks for the 10 months. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the new regional prices for Twitch stuff go. Their market research that they talked about makes sense in terms of allowing more people to sub that wouldn't be able to normally. Okay, so next turn I get to BTL for Tolsimir. And then I get to play a land and gain another and gain 4, so we're gonna gain 7 this turn. GG. Do I get less from your prime? I don't know that prime was impacted. I haven't seen anything that talks about prime being impacted. Man, opponent's a trooper, chat. They are giving it the college best here. Hey, Wicked Zen, speaking of Prime, thanks for the year and a half. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Alright, so I mean the land drops to gain 4, right? And the Klothys gains me life too, so I'm out of red mana this turn though, Sedge. Hand, library, exile, play this, gain some life. Closing in on 2 years, slowly but surely. Am I doing spoiler reviews for Innistrad? So, for standard sets, I'm not going to do daily stuff like I was for Historic Horizons because there's less likely to be... they're less likely to have a high impact on non-rotating formats, and it's hard to evaluate cards for standard without the full set. So I will do a review for Innistrad, but that one will be one of the complete reviews at the end once we have everything. So the difference on the streamer's back end is they said they're going to make up the difference if a streamer saw a revenue decrease from their existing subs. I think it was the former variant. I don't think we're gonna enter daily spoilers again immediately. But we'll see. Who knows? I'm just chilling for the time being here. They've been doing shorter spoiler seasons overall. What was that? What was that timeout for? Forget Freeman. Oh, the Roiling Vortex comes back now. Oh, but this hits them too, right? I'm at 31. And we'll K command, shock, discard, attack with bunch. Why are we still playing a game? It's a good question. I like the design of the new 2-mana removal spell. I've seen a lot of people kind of expressing they're concerned about it, but 2 life loss is real. Oh, we made Lurrus indestructible. That's interesting. So if I attack with everything, they could eat the Omnath, and then they take 5. I think that's worthwhile. They could eat a 3/3, and then they take 3. If they trade with Tolsimir, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I lose Klothys. I think I just pass here. They're at 10. I can start attacking with Klothys here, and Klothys is just going to start chipping away at them. Klothys deals 2 every turn. Yeah, their Vortex is bearing down on them too, for sure. It's actually kind of funny that Klothys being a creature gives them the out of... Gives them the out of being able to shrink it with Soulscar Mage. What's going on, Malviolence? Renin 7 does look like Guess. I agree. I'm gonna hold on to the Fatal Push. We'll attack with everything, and then we can push the Lurrus post-combat. Lock things up for even further. Yeah, I'm super excited for the set in the fall. Renin 7 specifically, the Giant had reach on it, if I recall, which would be great against Goldspan Dragon. Yeah, I believe the Vorthos flavor is like Ren is a druid that bonds with various unnamed trees, and when they're ready, when they've like run the tree out of energy, they like discard it and move on. Hopefully we live to see enough iterations to get to Ren in 69. Yeah, it seems like Ren's a parasite. Ah, yes, this attack. That attack. That got him. Why do we get rid of Surveil? So they actually never reuse keywords, even if they mechanically make a card do what that keyword does, if the keyword's not evergreen or coming back. So something like the new Surveil cantrip, not saying the word Surveil on it, is normal and expected. That seems sweet, Immortal. Make a command. Jeff will do a full spoiler review when all of Innistrad is spoiled. It's hard to do daily review of a standard focus set because a lot of context is missing. I think like a dumb policy not using the keywords. So it's intended to have less jargon on the cards to make the game a little bit easier for newer players. I agree for players who have a lot of experience and are heavily invested in the game. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but it's basically just like to think about it this way, if they wrote Surveil on that card, they'd also need to put parentheses after it describing what Surveil did. So you're basically just asking them to add parentheses to the card and an extra word, which just clutters the text box. Yes, Champion of the Perished is exactly what Historic Zombie wants for sure. In fact, I have a donation for zombies in Historic. I might ask the person who donated for it if I can wait till after Innistrad to play it. Because it'll be a lot better after that happens. I think the new Doomblade is sweet in that it is a powerful card that you likely won't want to play four ofs. So, what that new Doomblade won't do is it won't just be like a Path to Exile in any format where you always play maximum copies of it. You'll almost assuredly play some number of copies of it in your black decks, but unless you're like a black aggressive deck, you definitely don't want four of them. Like mono black aggro, like in Historic specifically, definitely wants four of that card. I think. But outside of that, I think in general. Alright, so either have a Nahiri or a Niv-Mizzet. Probably a Niv-Mizzet, huh? Although I guess I haven't found a green source yet. We looked 3 and then missed on a green source. Maybe I do want the Nahiri. Would Death Shadow want 4? Yeah, possibly. Like blue-black control here. Oh, Dig Through Time is legal in this format, right? If I recall correctly. Dig's a sweet card. Well, shit. Our deck's probably really bad against the counterspell deck, huh? The new cantrip might get Digging Cruise bad. Yeah, potentially. Man, still no green mana. Definitely cycling the Savai Triome here. This is where the magic happens. How many green sources are in our deck? We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. I'm gonna lead on Sylvan Caryatid because I would like to be able to double spell when I start playing cards that matter. We know our opponent has Sinister Sabotage. I think Klothys is probably the most important card to resolve here. We can actually double Klothys next turn, right? So this is assuredly eating a Sabotage. Hey, hope your recovery is swift, Pixie. Glad you're feeling all right. That's the goal. I mean, one of the things I've talked about with other people too is I've heard people talk about, oh well, what happens once we get past COVID? And there likely isn't going to be a past COVID at this point. Like the reality is you and probably everybody you know is going to get COVID at some point. The goal at this point is to try and ensure that, you know, things like the vaccines that make it so your symptoms are mild. And so we can actually make it like the flu. Yeah, the goal is to like advance the medicine to the point where it's actually flu adjacent in terms of hospitalization and deaths and stuff like that. And we'll get better over the counter stuff. Yeah, and that systems don't get overwhelmed and stuff with it, with the number of cases that do happen that do need extra care. I think I just jam Omnath here while they only have one blue up. I think this is probably our best chance to resolve this idiot. Yeah, I agree, Panza. Enough people don't get flu shots every year, and wearing masks inside and out should be normalized during the winter months. You got him. He's dead. Guess what? He already drew a card. Do I slaughter games Torrential Gear Hulk in this matchup? Is that crazy? That's their win con usually, right? Is Torrential Gear Hulk? Because they're Gear Hulking Digs. We have a number of answers rolled up for Shark Typhoon, right? I think I want to name Gear Hulk so they can't get value with it. All right. Definitely Torrential Gear Hulk. Got one out of the hand, got one out of the deck. I'm gonna take a picture because it lasts longer. Ooh, they do have a way to take Klothys off the table. So we've got two Shark Typhoons over here. We've got an Ashiok here. And it looks like it for win cons once I take these Gear Hulks. Their hand is pretty bad here. Just does a whole lot of nothing against our Klothys. Murder that, so we're winning this race solidly. Yeah, there's no creature lands. I got a couple of Radiant Fountains for life gain as colorless lands, it looks like. So the game plan here is to kill them. Is to kill them in 8 turns with Klothys. Dougal, thanks for the 26 months. Welcome back. Oh, you know what? I should fetch the Island, right? Because there's only one land left in my deck, and like saving it for Omnath doesn't really matter in this matchup. Omnath's just like a threat that cantrips. Yeah, Klothys keeping them off of dig through time is big here. They're at 7 mana now and still can't cast their dig. Oh yeah, maybe it's better to hold the Dreadbore because of Ashiok. That's a good thought. So they had Negate, Dig, and Fatal Push, and Blood Chief's Thirst. So see if they drew a Sabotage here. Like Fetid Pool, sure. So this will die to a removal spell next turn. It's like big deal. Yeah, Dreadbore heard chat and they're like, "Listen, Jeff, we got this." Yeah, RTR is the start at Pioneer. Yeah, the person that said RTR is on here, that's wrong. RTR is the first set. See, thanks for the 40 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't even know what I'm getting with this. Probably nothing because it's getting negated. That's fine. Just want to make sure I have plenty of food to eat with my Klothys. Cast Raven's Crime. Personally, I'm looking forward to the spring set, Return to the Shadows of the Battle over Ravnica. I think it's going to be really sweet. Yeah, they do, Roth. They stayed through the end of the game. We just Valky, right? How many sensors are they through? They've only played 2 sensors. I don't care if Tolsimir gets censored. I'm gonna hold this Niv we exiled for later. Oh, I need 2 green for this. Durf. That's fine. I'm just gonna pass. I thought this was double white, it's double green. Even if they kill Tybalt, it gives us this emblem, so we can still cast these if they get rid of the Planeswalker. Okay. You can't make out the incredibly large 1/1 on this shark token? Come on now. Like, why did we play that game for so long if they were gonna concede at that point? Like, what were we doing? I don't like, come on. Come on. What was happening there? Like, I'd get it if like they were gonna like grind for a while, but like what happened at that precise moment that they were like, nah, this is it. I'm a bounce. I've seen enough. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. All right, so let's cut sweepers. I'm gonna cut Sylvan Caryatid because I just want a higher density of action in my deck. The fixing's nice, but I just want more cards that do stuff, I think. Do I want the second Slaughter games? I kind of feel like I do, right? Like they're so WinCon light. Maybe I don't need the second. Just taking Gear Hulks is probably plenty. Yeah, Riverpart answers Shark Typhoon, but like I've got Despark, Vanishing Verse, Mortify, Nahiri, Casualties of War, and Dispute to counter. I think we're okay on answers to that. And technically Bring to Light answers it as well, right? We've been playing this league for 50 minutes, and we're heading into game 2 of match 2. Been a little bit of a slog. Sheriff Will, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. What an incredible value for your entry fee. Yes. We are solidly getting our money's worth out of this league. I mean, I don't know that it's Niv in general. I'm up a minute and a half after this first game here. I believe I was up on clock on the what's it called opponent as well, the burn opponent. It's kind of just Moto opponents in general. It's Magic opponents in general. Moto's just like base as a slow game at its base. So people play Arena slowly as well. It's just Arena's a faster piece of software in general. Alright, waiting on blue mana. I saw a couple of posts of people talking about how Pioneer was really good right now. So I decided to poke into it. If it's bad, worst case, we just like, don't poke back into it again. Might as well give it a try. I could do 4-land hand this game, right? Am I misremembering that, or did we keep 4 lands this game? Okay. And for reference, this deck has 27 lands in it, and we were on the draw. So we missed our 5th land drop. I feel like I need to do the Hyper Geo on that. So 53, 23, sample size 5, 1. We're 95%, so 1 in 20. And honestly, like, that's a good example of just, like, how high variance Magic is, right? Like, we kept a 4-lander on the draw, and even keeping a 4-lander on the draw, you're 5% to miss your 5th land on curve. Like, just 1 in 20 games, it's just not going to happen. It's for the 44 months waterfalls. Welcome back. Well, the no blue is more likely. I mostly just wanted to hit lands in general, so that way we can not discard the hand size. A blue source would be ideal, but beggars shan't be choosers. I want to just hit my land so we can try and cast multiple spells in a turn eventually. Yeah, it is 1 in 20. It's like rolling a die. Magic is a game that is littered with effects that are effectively die rolls, which is why it's so funny to me to watch the community get up. If people understood variance better and outcomes, they would be less upset with things like die rolls being introduced. The average human being is very bad at intuiting what things imply what variance, which is why they get more offended at things like die rolls, because when you're rolling a die, it's very in your face what the variance is. Whereas here in this instance, even me, someone who's played a ton of Magic and has a good base understanding of statistical concepts, 5% was high to me. Like, offhand, if you would have said, Jeff, how likely do you think you are to hit your 5th land by turn 5 in your 27 land deck keeping a 4-lander? I would have told you probably 97, 98, 99%. Some higher number than 95. Yeah, Hearthstone's an incredibly low variance game. Like, I cannot overstate how much lower variance Hearthstone is than Magic on average. I've elected not to cast Klothys here because I think there's an incredibly high chance that my opponent has a counterspell, and I'd really like Klothys to resolve. Yeah, exactly that, Reverend Doge. Like, queuing it into the calculator here made me feel better about missing, because I was like, oh, my intuition was off. 5% is actually going to happen pretty frequently. Yes, Runeterra is a game that is incredibly low variance, and I actually think Runeterra's low variance element is almost assuredly part of the reason people bounce off of it, or a contributing factor to why. There's a number of factors of why people bounce off of new card games, but what calculator is that? It was a hyper geometric distribution calculator. Do I play Hearthstone anymore? No. The deck building depth in Hearthstone is quite shallow because the core of their system doesn't allow for good deck building. Did they have a commit to memory last game? I don't think so. Does not look like they had a commit to memory. That is a Hex TCG card border in that video. Didn't they get sued out of existence? Yeah, that's an apt summary of what happened to Hex for sure. Hand, deck, exile, play the swamp. I think the odds of them having a counter spell for a creature are pretty low here, so I'm going to jam the Klothys. Mythgard, sadly, if you haven't seen it, is DOA. They posted an announcement that they were putting their application into maintenance mode. They have run out of money as an indie project. Which is sad, but the industry's rough. It feels like it's impossible to get into new card games at this point. Like even Riot's like struggling to get their game up and running. They have like, more money than God. So we're pretty far behind at this point. Opponent's got 6 cards in hand. Honestly, as sad as it is to say, we might just be playing for clock damage at this point. So Mardu, green, blue can still cast this. We'll lead on Klothys here. Listen, all of y'all, this is sabotage. Do 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 do. Fetch an island here and then get my auto pass on. Cake Command's actually a decent pickup here. Because it means if they like end step Torrential Gear Hulk, we can shatter it, pick back up Klothys. Is pick back up Klothys better than pick back up? Is that better than pick back up Niv? Nah, I probably want to pick back up Niv. I'm just going to go ahead and have them discard here. Well, to call a spade a little bit, Pelly, too, both Mythgard and Champions, while I enjoyed both of those games from a mechanical perspective, their software was definitely clunky and crude in both instances. Like, Mythgard has a lot of great features in it, but it definitely lacks a polish compared to a product like Legends of Runeterra, for example. Yeah, exactly that. Like Mythgard's the most feature complete digital card game that's ever been made, but it just didn't quite have that level of detail you really want. Which is tough to do as a small studio. Like they did a really good job with the resources that they have. Which speaking of in-game features, something I think I'm going to make an attempt at doing some content with, Pokemon Unite added a spectator mode to their game, and you can not only spectate friend matches, but you can spectate random ladder games of high-ranked people that you can filter, you can search from a menu. So I might try and pull up a game or two of some high-ranked Masters player and do some commentary over the top of it, explaining what the players are doing and why. It's a nice draw. Show me negate. I mean, I did ask them to show me the negate, so, you know, I have but myself to blame. Hey, do you want this extra Despark because it kills Gear Hulk too? Probably better than Mortify. Is Notion Thief actually that good here? They don't have that many cards to formally draw cards, do they? I guess it's an instant speed threat. Yeah, I'll keep it. I have a Slaughter Games in still. Dismal was right. Thanks for the prime. I appreciate you repping for the second month. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, this is fine. We have all of our colors. That's all I could really ask for. Triome, Crag, Klothys. Get censored, curl up and ball and cry. So I either run into censor this turn or I run into sabotage next turn, so I'm gonna hope they don't have censor. The real stoned gamer. Does that imply the existence of a fake stoned gamer? At any rate, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. Thanks for keeping me around. And wow, they cycled fetid pools. So they cycled fetid pools, so I can Klothys this turn, right? So we go red, green, blue, white, black. I think Wizard of the Coast is pumping out too many products. I don't actually. I think there's probably too many products if you feel like you need to care about every single product they put out. But I also don't think you need to care about every single product they put out. Tech Narfy, Pogo, thanks for the follow. Is Pogo Pokemon Go? I play a lot of that in my off time. Their PvP is quite fun. The stoned gamer was already taken. Makes sense. I don't even know that I would blame their advertising so much, Three Smith, so much as like Magic players have a real big sense of FOMO, and a lot of people don't seem to feel like they can ignore things, and that leads to a lot of good amount of dissatisfaction. I think. Like personally, I just pretend a number of Magic products don't exist, and I'm happier for it. I'm gonna just keep casting must counter spells here, basically. Because if they're counterspelling me, they're not killing Niv, and then Niv can kill them. Yes, exactly that. Magic players really seem to get annoyed when they are told a particular product is not for them. And I don't think that telling people that a product is not for them is a bad thing. I think it's okay that Magic products get made that I'm not the target audience for. I think if I were to criticize a decision from Wizards of the Coast, I wouldn't criticize the volume of products they've put out so much as, and it feels like they realized this was a mistake. Part of the issue from 2020 and 2021 was that standard sets got pushed to a point where they were having big impacts in non-rotating formats. Because if you were a modern or legacy player, for a long time you'd just ignore most releases, right? Like most standard sets didn't apply to you. But then they went ahead and they ramped up the power level a great deal, and suddenly that was no longer the case. Suddenly you had to care about a lot of these products because they were impacting the formats that you played. And the last four sets now have toned that power level down a bit, and I think that that's a good thing. You're putting my Klothys on top of my deck. Deal. So, hand, deck, exile. I'll play this land to play around Censor. I'll play this Klothys. Sure. That's why I brought my backup Klothys, chat. I agree with him. I guess Strixhaven felt like a slam dunk from a design perspective in a number of ways. Yeah, Klothys seems very good in this matchup. Okay, so at this point, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. We'll crack this fetch. Now we just Rakdos return, kill their Narset, they discard their hand, and then we can Dreadbore the Kalitas. I have 2 red and 2 black already. I don't have another white. So we go like this. Target you. Cast Lightning. We got Shark Typhoon and Ashiok out of hand here. And then honestly, I think this Triome's a land. This is the part where they draw Dig Through Time or Torrential Gear Hulk. Lead on this, see what we get. Hand, bottom, exile. Kill your zombie. Cast my Klothys. Alright. Oh ho, we're halfway there. Oh ho, lizard on a chair, take my hand. We'll Klothys, I swear. Be do 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 be do do do. Thanks for the 33 months, Death. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. It's a long time. That's a good one. Just taking their Gear Hulk targets out of their bin here with Klothys to start. They have one card in hand, so they're either countering Niv or killing Notion Thief. They're not doing both. Klothys, definitely the MVP of this game. This match. Got me. I feel like Dispute actually isn't very good from their side of the matchup. I guess we play a lot of big things. I feel like the game's going to go long on average with a deck like ours. All right. Hour and 11 minutes, 2-0. Benthic Biomancer plus Wizard class. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what Wizard class does. Fun fact. The last time I played Pauper on Magic Online is the first and only time I've ever dropped a league at 2-0. We had been playing for like over 2 hours and had played exactly 2 matches, and it was just like, nope. 5 hours set as Pauper. Just like I just couldn't do it. Hey, Curse Tag. Thank you for the sub gifts. That's very generous of you. Welcome to our newest members of Hoaglandia. Yeah, I believe it was a Tron deck. Some kind of grindy Tron control. We just like played a bunch of mirrors, and it was just like, good lord, done off it. It's a bathroom break coming up soon. Are we stopping for dinner? I actually suggested doing some things other than Lorehold Command in that deck at the end of the video. So I'd recommend watching the wrap-up, Mikey. Even if you don't ever have time to watch an entire video that I do, the deck text and the wrap-up at the very end are definitely the most important parts. How many people are in the Pioneer League? Whoo. All right, there's 200 people in the Pioneer League. Can I view this? How do I see? I don't know how to see how many people are in the Modern League without joining it. Anybody who has access to Moto want to tell me how many people are in the Modern League for comparison's sake, if you know how to get to that info? Opponent has mulligan to 5. I have 2 lands but can't currently cast any of the 2-mana spells in my hand, so my body is ready. Y'all ready for this? Do. Nice. I think I'm fetching Mountain here. Hey, thanks for the bit, Stone Gamer. They are probably the sacrifice deck, I imagine. There are 1,300 people in the Modern League. Wow. That is a stark comparison. So for people that missed that, there are 200 people in the Pioneer League, and there are almost 1,400 people in the Modern League. Thank you for the statistic. Honestly, land tier is kind of great. I'll take the Sunpetal Grove to hand for an untap next turn, and I think I'm going to take the Savai Triome. Do I want second red or second blue? Second red, probably. Oh, well, we clicked the interface wrong. That's fine, it was close. Dr. Greendale, thanks for the Prime for the 10th month. Welcome back. Okay, so it's pretty important that I don't let them keep Woestrider in play, because they have Woestrider plus Citadel and a high life total like this. There's a good chance we die. So I think I'm actually supposed to just 1-for-1 this Extinction Event here. So this play probably seems a little bit odd, but I think it's the right one. Just take their scry card off the table. Which Citadel? Bolas' Citadel. They're a Bolas' Citadel sacrifice combo deck. No, Citadel's a competitive deck in the format, similar to the Citadel sacrifice deck in what's it called? In Historic. I'm gonna go grab Tolsimir. So we can take the Mayhem Double off the table. Actually, if I take their Citadel, they probably can't win, right? We just Slaughter Game Citadel here. Maybe I get Tolsimir first to stabilize the board. There's a 2-card draw the game combo on turn 3 in Historic with Perpetual. That's funny. Yeah, I think killing the Mayhem Devil is important. So if I take the Citadels this turn, next turn they can hit me for 5 and then possibly 6, 7 already. So I think there's a lot of value in taking the Mayhem Devil out of play. I think we just hope to fade a Citadel draw for a turn. And even if they draw a Citadel next turn, there's a low chance we die from it from this board state. Because they don't have any scries, and the Bring to Light could kill the Citadel. So if we dodge, we end up in a great spot. So I'm going to grab, where is it? My friend to the wolves. How do you win if it draws? You don't win, you troll. Okay, and this implies their last card's a black source, because they're giving up their treasures. Or they have Collected Company too here. This is a Coco. Nope. Yep. Alright, and now we'll bring to light. This has stabilized the board solidly for us. We'll bring to light for Slaughter Games to take their Citadel, because getting Citadeled is our lose condition from this position. Well, so Magic Arena actually has some loop detection baked into it if you keep taking the same game actions, and it will draw games. So they don't they don't ban people for loops like that. They have like loop detection that puts the game to a draw for anybody that hasn't played with that before. I've definitely played game fours on Magic Arena because a game drew. All right, so I want Knights and Desparks to deal with their Citadels. I'm going to bring in the extra Slaughter games for that reason. Nahiri's probably not great. She gets attacked down and she only exiles tapped artifacts. I'm not a trim here. Valki's a way to bring to light to exile Citadel that then sits in place. That probably stays. I think 3 cuts here. I mean, Knight of Autumn's actually not that good. It's not instant speed. CJNJ, thank you for the 34 months. Welcome back. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I was going to say to the person that said they could buff or patch the card because it's digital, they've patched cards that are paper because of loops that they didn't like before. Hostage Taker had day 0 errata because it could create a loop. The magic boomers won't remind you that that's a thing because they'll pretend like it ruins the game even though it happens quite regularly in paper, but that's the truth. Yes, Teferi 5 was another card that was at his errata. So nice draw. Let's just go ahead and Vanishing Verse this now. It's for the half a year, man. Welcome back. Okay. Or the changes to those cards. You can go look at the original printings in the Oracle text online. I don't want to tell you one thing and then have it be slightly incorrect, so I'd prefer that you just look it up. Okay, nice. Opponent with another slow start here. They don't add more pressure to the board. We're definitely bring to lights for Slaughter games next turn. I grab a second green here. You should always cast this as many colors as possible if it doesn't impact anything, just so your opponent has the least information about what you're going to get with it. Look at that. We have won the match, chat. We have won the match. Do you ever compete in Magic the Gathering arena tournaments? Yeah, I've posted. If you look on my YouTube channel, Hot Nickels. There's a couple of videos of me playing in tournaments. Magic's a pretty high variance game. So, like, trying to set up a day to play a tournament is likely to end in failure a lot of the time. And I'm an adult with a family and a fairly hectic schedule, so like it's tough to like try and schedule something and then potentially have it not work out in a way that's a pretty spectacular failure. So I don't do them fairly often. Yeah, I also have to be, because the content has such a high variance chance with it, I also don't do it particularly often unless I really love the format. Yeah, I'd much rather run tournaments. Speaking of, I need to start plugging that. Signups are open for the next Soglandia Open. I think they're public now. Oh, I'm gonna have to find. I don't have the link now offhand. I'll have to ask my wife. I'll post it on Twitter tonight. But we started the logistical issue. It's not on the website yet. We're having a logistical issue that MTG Melee changed their billing backend. So we had to adjust stuff on our end so we could actually put the tournament up with an entry fee. Which, the upside to that is you can sign up for tournaments on MTG Melee using PayPal now instead of just credit cards, which is nice. So I'm glad they did the change on their back end, but we had to jump through some hoops with Cool Stuff Inc. Amazonian will be my co-caster. The event will be on August 21st, and it will be historic. Thanks for the follow, Bad Beat Boy. Sylvan Caryatid on 2 seems like our best opener for sure. Well, I'm gonna block again and wait and see what they do, but if they just pass here again, I'm probably gonna K-Command, Shatter Shock, get rid of these two things. He said before remembering that this has protection from multicolored and he cannot target with K-Command. So you discard a card, we'll destroy this. Definitely want to use my mana this turn. I took the 1 damage instead of doing this inside of combat in case they played a scarier artifact. Honestly, getting a Stubborn Denial used on this seems like a huge W for us. So unfortunately, missing our 5th land drop here in our 27 land deck, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Opponent appears to be having the inverse problem. Looking a little flooded over there. Let's Dreadbore this one, actually. I was gonna Mortify it, but Mortify can kill Scissors if they have it. And get Shrapnel blasted. Oh yeah, blast me, daddy. I mean, we only get through matches quickly in Hoots because the players are getting through their games quickly. So our tournament doesn't flow quickly because we're like rushing the competitors or have a short match time, Reverend Doge. We actually have some rounds that do go quite long. We just have enough content recorded typically that it's not a big deal when they do. Because, well, I'm good at what I do. Wow, 10 cards, 1 draw. Still fine, I guess. Yeah, that's an soul artifact. So we are dead to another Shrapnel Blast here. There's protection from multicolor. Yeah. 10 damage is a lot of reach, so. Needed to draw our 5th land 1 turn sooner there. This is probably a Mystic Dispute matchup. Definitely a Knight of Autumn matchup. Not a Despark matchup. Slaughter Games out. Valki out. Iteration's a little on the slow side. I guess this blows up all artifacts and enchantments. 5 mana is a lot, though. Wonder if it's crazy to, like, trim some Bring to Light and stuff to the top end of the curve just so they have Stubborn Denial. I'm gonna do that and see how it goes. If we die again, at least it'll be quick. After the slog that was the start of this league. Again with no blue mana. This is fine. Triome puts our buddy lands into play untapped nicely here. It's pretty good. Or they're just gonna crack us for 4 here. But it's been reasonable. The response in the most recent sub-survey had Modern down as popularity from respondents from the previous one, which is pretty natural. The format kind of stagnated a little bit in terms of monkeys and stuff like that. But overall, it's been more good than bad, I think. Actually, is that true? What did we end up at? Modern had 54% in this one. What did it have in the previous one? I'm going to check now. I think it was down a little bit. Thanks for the biddies, Dark Confident. I appreciate the support. Good to have you around regardless. And was it July? In July, we had... Yeah, it is down a little bit from July. July, we had 61%. It's actually a pretty big drop off. 7% is pretty significant. So over 10% decrease. So I make the assumption, and maybe this is a bad assumption to make. So the anything it's all good is a separate question on my survey. And I assume that if you're checking anything it's all great, you're also checking everything in the question above it. Would be my assumption. I also take anything it's all great to largely mean you don't have a strong preference towards which formats I play. So if a particular format is unpopular among people who do have a preference, I tend to give preference towards them because they've indicated that they care, whereas others don't. So, as is always the case with voting, if you vote indifferent, you're actually voting for whatever has the most votes after indifferent. What basic am I fetching? We're definitely using Nahiri and exiling the Citadel. I have black, green, white. I have 2 blue. I have 2 blue. I have 2 green. I have 1 red. I have 1 white. I have 1 black. Probably an extra black. I'd love to see paper vintage. I am curious to see how this video goes today. The gameplay's been good, but based on the number of people currently in this league, for example, though, I would be surprised if this video does well on YouTube. Actually, I take that back. I'll bet this first video will do well on YouTube because whenever I do a new type of content, the first video from the type of that content tends to do well because people have a morbid curiosity. It's the second, third, and fourth videos of a new type of content that really dictate, hey, does this have some staying power that people are interested in? Our live numbers on Twitch here are about average, or up to 700 people. It's about normal for Moto in the morning. Maybe a touch slow, but it fluctuates a little bit day to day. Not gonna lie, I tuned in because my reaction to giving Pioneer a chance to notify was, oh, this might be a garbage fire. Yeah, I mean, you're not alone. Is Moto usually lower? Yeah, definitely. Moto is wildly unpopular compared to Magic Arena. There is a reason there. Well, to kick pauper wallets down for a moment. Um, when people say Pioneer's the least popular non-rotating format, usually they're just not counting pauper as a non-rotating format because it effectively doesn't exist to most people. Sorry, pauper. If we get Mystic disputed. All right, so this game has ended. We're done here. I guess we could theoretically get burned out. Maybe. Yeah, they could run back the same thing they did last game, right? They get like shrapnel. We get double shrapnel blasted. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hit me for one, daddy. Shrapnel blast me again. Oh yeah. Hit me with the scissors. All right. Well, this did not feel particularly close, and our deck did not feel competitive here. The other three matches were good and had back and forth, but that opponent just like shoved us in a box. Their draw was really bad 2 games in a row, and they just slaughtered us. I was right. I was right that the game had ended. I just did not realize who it had ended for. That was a fairly polarized experience. Something that is tried and true across a range of Magic the Gathering formats is that polarizing matchups are a core feature. Pioneer has had trouble gaining traction for honestly a lot of the same reasons that card games like Hearthstone and Runeterra have trouble gaining traction, which is people are creatures of habit, and a lot of people weren't really looking for a new non-rotating format. Most of the people looking for non-rotating Magic are happy with Modern, or they love Legacy or Vintage, and they're hanging out with those, and they're not really looking for something else. There was a small burst of popularity when this format was first announced that was then killed off through a mixture of the pandemic happening, killing paper play, as well as Wizards failing to manage the format appropriately for an extended period of time. But I think part of it is almost assuredly because of, oh god, Amir. Oh no, Amir. Yes, and historic is popular because arena is popular is accurate. White, red, blue, green, black. I mean, speaking as someone who's played a ton of Modern recently, this format doesn't feel anything like Modern. I think that that's kind of a bad comparison, but one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yahtzee! Man, can you believe how unlucky we are having to discard the hand size here? It's pretty unfortunate. Hopefully we won't be this unlucky for the rest of the game. All right, here's a real question. If they don't Niv us this turn, do I slaughter games their Nivs with the Spring to Light? My opponent has lost connection to the game. Oh, Moto. Oh, Moto. I mean, at least Moto told me they've lost connection, I suppose. I suppose glass half full. We drew so many cards, our opponent's client crashed. I guess I can track down the link to MTG Melee really quick here. My opponent has joined the game. There's a link. Tag the folks in the Discord. They fetched real quick there. I'm kind of expecting a Niv out of them. Nope. All right. Well then. Pretty, pretty solid turn. If I do say so myself. Wow, they could have Niv-Mizzeted and didn't. Take a picture because it lasts longer. Couple Nahiris, couple Omnaths. Yeah, deck list is pretty close to ours. They've got a Yasharn as something that's a little different. Has the game ended now? Maybe. I don't know. We're gonna grind through each other. We both have a lot of removal. Next turn, I get to Klothys plus Nahiri their Klothys, and they don't have an answer. They need to like peel another Nahiri then immediately. But like they get to Dreadbore or Omnath here, I assume. You're not killing my Omnath? Oh. Oh, honey. Well, that's big sad. I think I'm taking this to cycle. Never lucky, chat. Got me. They exiled my Niv. Sad. Lovely. Lovely. Man, we have to discard to hand size again? We just can't catch a break this game, chat. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we have a game here because of their Valki. Do I just like bring to light for Valki of my own? We'll make our own Valki with Blackjack. Maybe I'm supposed to kill that. I don't know. I could draw a red land here, right? Why not? Why not both? See, chat, you were thinking so small. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana potentially. We'll exile their Valki so they can't get it back later. And then I'm going to go ahead and K command pick this up. You discard your last card. Hand, bottom, exile, play a tapped land. Maybe a tapped land's supposed to be a cycle. That's close. I'm down on clock here a little bit, so I'm going to start ignoring chat and try and catch back up. This match is likely to be a slog. For those of you that are here for Zoomer Magic, I apologize if the Boomer Magic's running late for the second day in a row, but you're just going to have to deal with it. Yeah, I can still play those. Okay, so they got Iteration, Tolsimir, and Vanishing Verse. So now we do this. I should have played the tap land. I had some slops this game, chat. We do this. And then mom and dad continue fighting their custody battle over this Niv-Mizzet. What game is this? This is game 1. The little ticker in the corner shows that. Is there a way to get into Moto without a big financial investment? What's your definition of a big financial investment? You spent $50 in Arena essentially of a full collection. I mean, you could do that on Moto if you're really good at the game. You can go infinite on drafting. Oh! Mana Confluence doesn't work while Yasharn's in play. Big Papa Punts here. I was like, why isn't my Mana Confluence working? Oh, everything makes sense now. I wonder if our opponent plans to deck us. Could that be a real plan? Oh, I missed an attack for 4. Fuck. Real sloppy here on my part. I got 17 cards. They have 25. Yeah, I've had some super slops here. Okay, you have a Tolsimir. Okay, what if I had a Tolsimir though? Pretty sure I'm just supposed to chill. I don't want to play Niv-Mizzet out into a sweeper here. We're down 2 minutes on clock. But this game should hopefully be locked up. What's that land with the Planeswalker symbol? That is a Tibalt emblem. I think I want to keep Cleansing Nova as a catch-up mechanic. Despark sounds good. Dispute possibly sounds good. Abrupt Decay and Rip Apart are bad. Vanishing Verse is bad. I don't think this is a Notion Thief matchup. Trim a couple of Caryatids to increase our threat density. Hey, all of our colors of mana, Sneeper Keeper. Cause it's a Sneepa Keepa, do 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 do, Sneepa Keepa, do 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 do, do 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 do. Oh no, chat. Their nut draw. They have the Sylvan Caryatid. It's the part where they slaughter games our Nivs. We're not 0% here, but we're low enough that I'm gonna move on to the next game. All right, after seeing that, I'm gonna put my Sylvan Caryatids back in my deck. Yeah, like not only was it a turn 3 slaughter games, but it was taking 2 cards out of our hand. So like maybe we had a shot if like we didn't have 2 Nivs in hand, but with 2 Nivs in hand, we definitely don't really have a very good shot. Well, that's incredibly unfortunate. Obviously wanted to hit a land and 3 cards in our 27 land deck. Can't spell slaughter without laughter. All right, and then I assume we're about to get slaughter games back here. I have 2 slaughter games in my deck right now. Oh, they're just getting Valki. Sure. So I just take their Bring to Lights, right? I don't even know if this is good. I guess I just get Niv, right? Yeah, I'm gonna just get Niv. Need to catch up here a little bit. I feel like just answering their Tibalt last turn is wrong. I need to like try and get ahead a little bit and make them do something that plays to the board. Oh, they have Fabled Passage in hand, so this Omnath is just going to bury us. All right, I'm going to go play Arena. I don't know that we're 100% dead here, but this moto segment's running long, and it's probably not going to be very popular anyways because it's Pioneer, so... I don't know. This is fine. The non-mirror, non-burn matches were interesting, I guess, but like that mirror match was just like pretty stupid. All three games like weren't particularly interesting. One person was like way ahead of the other in all three of them, and the scissors matchup was incredibly polarizing in a way that wasn't very fun or interesting. There really wasn't any counterplay there. Their hand was bad, and we still just got run over. So I don't know. We'll see how the video does up on YouTube after the fact. Twitch metrics are a little bit down this morning. If it has okay reception on YouTube, maybe we'll try another. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, let me know in the comment section down below if you'd like to see more Pioneer. If you watch through to the end, I assume that you do, so be sure to let me know. So we'll see. Anyway, shift over to some Magic Arena for a bit.